Hello, my name is Robert Smith, and I am with Academic Assistance here at New River Community College, and today's video is on density. It is designed to be a supplement to your Chemistry 111 course here at New River. So what is density? Well, density is an intrinsic property that is specific to a given substance. And regardless of the substance mass or volume, it will have the same density at a specific temperature. So iron will always have a certain density regardless of how much iron you have. But today we're going to talk about gold. So a piece of gold ingot with a mass of 300 grams has a volume of 15.5 cubic centimeters. Calculate the density of gold. Well, we are given that density is equal to mass over volume. Okay? And in doing this, whenever you look at a problem in chemistry, the first thing you're going to want to do is, before you even look at this equation of the mass, density equals mass over volume, you'll want to look at what your given values are. So we're given our mass and volume. So I encourage you to write those down. Mass is 300 grams and volume is 15.5 cubic centimeters. If you write these down now, you'll be less likely to make a mistake as you proceed through the calculation. So going back to our equation, density is equal to mass over volume. We find that we actually do need density. That is what is being sought. Calculate the density. So we simply plug in our values to get our density. Density is equal to 300 grams over 15.5 cubic centimeters. And if you do the calculation and put it through your calculator, or you can do it by hand, you'll find that gold has a density of 19.4 grams per cubic centimeter. And that's it. That's how you do a problem that looks like this. But what if they gave you the density and they wanted some other value from you? Well, as long as you have that density equation, they can give you any two properties, volume, mass, or density, any two of those three properties, and you can solve for the third. So in this problem, we find that the density of mercury is 13.6 grams per milliliter. And we are going to calculate the mass of 5.4 milliliters of mercury. So what are our givens? Well, our givens include density as equaling 13.6 grams per milliliter, and our volume is 5.40 milliliters. It's very important to look at your units. This unit has to match up with that. If for whatever reason you had it at 5.4 liters, you would want to convert to milliliters, or vice versa. You do not want to put this directly into the equation until you have all your units matching up appropriately. So then we have to figure out, in this equation, we need to find the mass. So going back to our density equation, density is equal to mass over volume. We can solve for mass simply by multiplying both sides by the volume. Volume and volume cancel each other out on this side, and we're left with mass is equal to density times volume. Now, I encourage you to do the algebra prior to putting in your figures that you've determined up here and here, because it is very easy, at this level it seems simple, but it is very easy to become confused, especially when you're dealing with multiple temperatures or multiple volumes or multiple pressures. It's very easy to become discombobulated. So I encourage you to define your given values and then do the algebra and then finally plug in the values that were given. So we're going to do just that now. We're going to do mass is equal to 13.6 grams per milliliter times 5.40 milliliters. Well, you'll find that milliliters and milliliters cancel each other out, and you're left with grams, which is exactly what you want in an equation like this, because mass is generally measured in grams or some derivative thereof. So our mass, after you've put it through the calculator or done it by hand, turns out to be 73.4 grams. And that's it. Again, anytime you see you're looking for either density, mass, or volume, and you're given the other two values, you can easily calculate this. You have density is equal to mass over volume. You can easily multiply both sides by volume to get your mass equation. So mass would equal density times volume. Alternatively, if you were looking for the volume and you had mass and density, you would simply divide this by density, and you would find that volume is equal to mass over density. Simple enough. Just make sure you do the algebra prior to plugging in the information. That's all there is to it. Thank you very much for listening to me today. And please choose our next video on temperature conversions.